Hi everyone, Lego has released official images of the Jazz Club. So this is the 2023 modular building that we've all been waiting for since a few weeks ago when images first leaked. So well, this set is actually looking pretty good, even though it only has 2,899 pieces. Yes, and it's going to be retailing at the new modular price of £200 in the UK and I think $230 in the US. So this is probably the most expensive modular set ever. I mean, just in terms of creative expert sort of non-licensed modular sets. So because this is under the new pricing scheme. So most of the modulars that are available nowadays have probably reached this price already, but to start off with this price is probably something new in this regard. So but let's take a quick 360. Again, I like how complete it is at the back, and I think it is always a good thing that Lego is adding some sort of, let's say, accessibility or maybe some additional features, textures at the back of the buildings, because at times they can look a little bit boring. And I think for the most part, this set gets surpassed in this regard. I still prefer that they have a little bit more texture bricks. Now this is good, but at the same time, I just don't like the indication of the chimney for some reason, even though the use of masonry bricks is good. It's great. But still, I would have preferred that to extend to, the back side as well, because now it looks a little bit plain, even though there are plenty of windows, especially at the back. Now, this side looks really boring, but, if you're just going to be placing this set beside other modular buildings, I don't think this is going to be a major problem. But if you're going to treat this as a standalone set, maybe, yeah, compared to, let's say, the Sanctum Sanctorum, which has interesting sides throughout, even though two of those sides are, because it's a corner module, that's two sides are not supposed to be shown. But in this case, we do have one really boring side and maybe one or two relatively boring sides. So obviously you want to display it from the front, which is fine, again, because especially if you're putting it in a Lego city, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you to hide all those less interesting parts. But yeah, I've been spending too much time on that, but I do think that's important. So again, this is a 3 stories building. If you count this as part of the 3-story. So ground floor, we have obviously the jazz quartet, or the jazz band. We're playing here. This is the performance venue. And this is the Pizzeria. And then, of course, there's indication of accessibility, as is often the case for modular. This is pretty much the standard stuff. And then you have this sort of, I don't know whether it's a ticket office or maybe some sort of agent room, because it does give me that vibe. And then, again, accessibility. This door leads to a terrace or something. And then this is the tailor. So you can see the cloths and fabric right there. And then this is the rooftop garden. You have the dressing room as well. So that's pretty good. So a little bit more images on the inside. So there's seats, which is very good, because you obviously need seats for a performance venue. This is a rather small performance venue, to be honest. Some sort of it's only going to be suitable for small bands, such as this jazz band here with only like 3 members. So that's pretty good. I like how they included these lighting setups, and of course you have also interior lamps as well to supplement that. Obviously, when you're displaying this set as a modular, this area is going to be all dark because there's no light bricks or anything in there. So something to bear in mind, these pictures always look better than it actually is. But of course, when you take those modulars apart, then you'll be able to see, the lighting flowing in and everything looks much, much better in that regard. So this is a dressing room on the 3rd floor. Yeah, we'll talk about the minifigures later. I really like this one. This with the dress, really extravagant dress piece. And yeah, so this is a really important area for the performers to dress up, obviously, to rest. I like how they included the sofa, which is very apt for, a room like this. And I think this is the magician, right? So rabbit out of a hat, rather cliche stuff, but effective. And yeah, I like how they are constructing this this mirror. So very simple and effective representation of what you would expect in a dressing room. And I think this is I think this is the floor above the pizzeria. So this should be the tailor. The room looks a little bit bland in my opinion, but that's probably down to the fact that they probably removed the fabric section, the fabric section to sort of accommodate the photography, but the room should have looked more interesting. The pizzeria is fine, looks a little bit small, and there's no indication of seating, which is probably understandable considering this is just a very small section of the building. And then, yeah, this looks like an sort of agent room. It just gives me the vibe, just introducing the performers and lining them up for performances and such. But I don't know. I don't know if there's an official interpretation of what this room is. Maybe we'll have a look at the description. And then this is the rooftop greenhouse garden sort of thing. And, they're growing the ingredients, into tomatoes and vegetables and carrots organically. There's a squirrel in here as well. Pretty good. Again, there's indication of accessibility from the main building, the jazz club building. So that's always welcomed. This is a very interesting way of representing some gribbling and so on. And there's the chimney. So pretty nice, pretty good stuff. Yeah, so they've shown you how you can combine those modulars together, combine the new modular with the older ones. And I do think it looks really good besides the other modular. It actually looks even better than the boutique hotel, which I thought was another milestone achievement by Lego in terms of design. But I do think this set kind of is more attractive. I wouldn't say it is definitely engineering wise better, but in terms of color, you can see so much color. You can see the red, the base color of gray, but at the same time, you also have the blue and the yellow. It certainly looks ever so slightly more interesting than the boutique hotel with everything put together, because you have the jazz club design, which is also with using different colors and also some signage. And yeah, and of course there is this so there all told there's just so much color in here. So I really like that. I really like how there's many colors in a set without conflicting each other. So I think in this regard, Lego has done a good job. Obviously, there might be some real life references for this set, but yeah, as a model, I think it looks pretty perfect. And yeah, so if you display this standalone, I don't think there's too much of a problem. Again, there's a problem of having far less interesting sides from any angle other than from the front. So that's it. That could be a problem for some people. But I think if you display it alongside some other modular buildings, that would be absolutely fine. The minifigures, we might as well take a look at them now. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. I think the most interesting one would be this performer. I think this is the lead singer of the jazz band. So understandably, she has a really nice outfit, nice sort of ball gown sort of style, very extravagant printing here. There's a magician, a female magician with, you know, the stereotypical rabbits. So, and then I think these are the ribbons as well. And there's a cello. I'm not sure if this piece has been introduced before, but I've never seen it before, so that's pretty neat. And I think there's a hearing aid here, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty good on Lego's part to improve diversity and inclusion, especially in the in the music industry, right? In Lego City, obviously. So that's pretty neat. Well, the other minifigures are pretty standard. I'm not sure if this face print I've seen before, but the others are pretty familiar faces. Even this face is familiar, right? So yeah. So again, you're not buying a creator expert modular building, icons modular building for purely for minifigures. It really is about the build, and it looks pretty good alongside all those modulars from year past. And you can see the size. Is there a major size difference between the police station in particular and the jazz club? There is certainly some sort of height difference. In terms of width, it's probably the same. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think that the design of the jazz club is a little bit more interesting than the police station, ever so slightly. But in terms of size, maybe the police station would take the cake, because it just looks massive in general alongside other buildings. And yeah, I mean, if once we put everything together, you do see that its size is more comparable to the bookshop, actually. So, and even this bookshop building actually looks a little bit taller than the Pizzeria side building, which is surprising. So I don't know. I mean, but of course, this jazz club building is substantially larger than this bookshop building here. So in terms of value, I think it really depends on how you look at it. I think personally, I think this is maybe comparable to the boutique hotel, even though it has around 100 or so fewer pieces. But yeah, looking good. So yeah, I'm not going to go through the video. It's just standard stuff. But yeah, do I think it's worth it? I don't know. I mean, again, Lego has become increasingly expensive, and this is going to be the new normal, 199, well, £200, $230. There used to be a time when these sort of sets are only selling for £150 or so, or even cheaper. But yeah, I think we will have to get used to this sort of new prices if you want new stuff, because that's probably what Lego is going for anyway. I think for an unlicensed set, this is always going to be a tad expensive for people like me who do prefer licensed stuff in general, and also what you're really paying for is the modular here, not necessarily the minifigures, even though the minifigures looks I think ever so slightly more interesting than the previous modulars, including the boutique hotel. So yeah, I think the jury's still out as to whether this set is worth the price, even though we've seen a lot of the rooms and stuff. But I look forward to seeing some detailed reviews of this set for people who are fortunate enough to get it. Because ultimately, looking at pictures, you're not going to see too much stuff. Again, I stand by my assessment that this is a step up, I think, in terms of aesthetics, in terms of color usage, in terms of the vibrancy, the the sort of the being aesthetically attractive, aesthetically pleasing. I think for the most part, it does its job. Ideally, I prefer more interesting sides because Lego has proved that they can do it. They have done it with the Sanctum Sanctorum, and also, for instance, the Ninjago sort of modular buildings. They've shown time and time again that they can make those interesting from the back as well. So, I mean, obviously, this may not be completely necessary for these type of creator expert models, but I mean, ideally they should do that. But just another remark about the signage. I do like it a lot. I think, again, very creative use of the sausage piece here. And I do think these are prints, right? Because ultimately they, like in these sort of icons modular buildings, they're not supposed to have any stickers, so it's good. Normally I would say that I don't like how the signage is split into two, how this large jazz club sign is cut in the middle, but in this case it probably works, because then for customization, or maybe if you want to replace it with something else, then it'll still work. You can remove the jazz and then put something else above the sign for club, and then or maybe the other way around. So that's okay. Well, this certainly looks like a print. It has to be a print, right? Because there are two elements, and it only makes sense. And yeah, it's quite a lot of exclusive prints as well, hopefully. And so that's good. Yeah, in terms of size, maybe it does fall short compared to the police station, for instance, but I do think maybe this is the more appealing topic to do modular. I mean, especially now that we already have a police station. So yeah, I like it. I like what I'm seeing. Personally, I don't think I'm going to buy it because I'm just not into buy modulars. But for people who like modulars, for people who've been collecting modulars since the beginning of time, I do think this is a good set to get. But I think for most people, talking about relatively casual modular collectors, you might do well to get this set at a discount. Let's say maybe 140 or 50 pounds. So like 20 to 25% discount would be pretty ideal for this sort of sets. Because ultimately it's not licensed, the minifigures are not going to make you any money or something. So yeah. Or maybe at least wait until the gift repurchase is out, because once again, I think there is a sort of a pizza van, some sort of gift repurchase, a vehicle that is supposed to go along with this set, but is yet to be announced, which seems to indicate that it's going to follow last year's pattern of having the gift purchase being released significantly later than the release of the actual modular, which is coming on the 4th of January 2023. So with that, I think this is all I have to say in this video. Overall, I like this set, but it's just not for me at the moment. Not without a major significant discount, and even then, I'm probably not going to get it. But there's nothing to do with how good this set is, because I do think for the most part it is pretty good, pretty well designed, a step up in terms of design, in terms of the beauty of the modular in general. So yeah, I think people who want to buy it, who like modular, are going to love it. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.